Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Angelisa, and on this channel we read and discuss books together. And today I'm going to be discussing my basically top 10 mystery thriller books, and they all actually happen to be BookTok books, like books that went viral on TikTok or Instagram or here on BookTube. I thought it would be fun for me to also just tell you like whether it's worth the hype that it got. So I'm gonna just jump right into it. Mystery thrillers are one of my favorite genres. Honestly, it's hard to even pick a favorite genre. Like, I love fantasies for a reason, but I also love mystery thrillers for a whole other reason, as well as like romance and sci-fi and everything, so I'm not gonna get too much into that. But I do really love all of these books with my entire heart. There is a stack of more than 10 books because some of these are series, so we're just gonna go through them. So the first one that I have here, I actually read super recently, and it's None of This Is True by Jewell. So I absolutely loved this book. I rated this book 6 stars, like on my tracker it has a heart. It's literally one of my favorite thriller books that I've read in a long time. I loved the way that it was set up, and every chapter just had me more and more curious about what was going on. And I'm in this book club that's like all these girls from Toronto, and we all have like a WhatsApp group, and we talk about books that we're reading, and like 3 of them have started to read this book and they loved it too. And I love talking about books with people, but I love even more when like they share the same love that I have for a book. So yeah, this book was super awesome. Loved it. It's basically about this girl who she's like kind of a famous podcaster, and she's always kind of just done like lifestyle kind of podcasts with guests. And then this woman who listens to her podcast ends up running into her at a pub, and they learn that they're actually birthday twins. So what that means is that you're born on the same day, same year, same month, etc. So they learn that they're birthday twins, which they're like, oh, okay, cool. So Josie ends up showing up to Alex's, I guess, like, I don't remember how they meet in person again, but she basically pitches this podcast idea where she wants to tell her about these stories in her life. So Alex is like, cool, let's do it. Kind of ends up being like a true crime podcast that Alex ends up finding herself in the middle of. So it's really, really cool. I feel like it's in A Good Girl's Guide to Murder for adults, but also like has so many more cool themes in it, and it was just really, really fun to read. I would read a million books like this, Jewell, so please write more. And she only wrote this in 6 months, which is insane to me. Next is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. So this I also rated like 5-6 stars. I loved it so much. This was I think my first Riley Sager book, and it really got me into like these BookTok type of thrillers where, I don't know, they're just super twisty and dark and turny and thrilling. I don't know how else to explain it. Basically, this one is about this like rich couple who is living across a lake from this woman who basically has like nothing to do except watch them. So she's always like spying on them from across the lake, and she ends up realizing that the wife has disappeared, and she suspects that the husband has something to do with it and that there's been foul play. So it's following that, but it's so like at no point do you know what's actually happening, and the way that it's written gives you the illusion that something's happening, and it's just, I love this book so much. I would definitely recommend. Next we have a series, and I actually had just mentioned it. So A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. So this was one of my first like YA mystery series that I read, and I feel like every single one that I read now compares to it for some reason. It's about this woman Pip who 5 years ago, this really popular girl at her high school ends up disappearing, and her boyfriend admits to it and then kills himself. So case closed, boom, that's it. And Pip 5 years later is like, hey, I'm gonna do a senior project and see like if I can like cast doubt onto this investigation. And it ends up being that she unlocks a lot of stuff, and it's super cool, and the whole series continues, and it's just like it's a new mystery in each book, but it's an amazing series altogether. And I would definitely recommend reading in reading order. Obviously you cannot read like the second book after reading the first book or whatever, or without reading the first book. So yeah, love this series, and I think I rated like every book like 4.5 to 5 stars. This is like a 5-star series to me. Next is the Inheritance Games, another series. So this one isn't super thrillery, not like the other ones, but it's very much mystery and twisty and has riddles and all that fun stuff in it. And I did rate the first 2 books like 6 stars and the last book like 4.5 or something like that. So like I love this series. It's definitely a 5-star series to me, and the original trilogy is just something that I've never read before. And Jennifer Lynn Barnes' writing and short chapters and just the way that she drops things before a chapter ends is just like makes you want to eat up the book. Like you just want to nom 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 nom. Like it's so good. So I would definitely recommend reading the series if you haven't already. I feel like it took me forever to finally read this series, and I'm glad that I read it, but I wish that I had read it so much sooner. Next we have another Riley Sager book, The Only One Left. So this is a more recent release of his, and I loved this one. I rated it 5 stars. It was amazing. So it's about this woman who basically everybody knows her as having like murdered her entire family back in the 1920s, and now she's an older woman. She's had a bunch of strokes and she's mute, so she can't really communicate except for like by typing on a typewriter. So she has this home care person who brings her a typewriter and allows her to type every day, and Lenora, the old woman, has told her that she wants to now tell her everything that happened all those years ago. So it's such an interesting read, and there's a huge plot twist, and it's amazing, and I loved his writing in this. And I know he's coming out with a new book this year that has the same kind of like font on it, so I'm so excited. Like I'm so excited. I get so excited about these. Like even when I go on book buying bans, like there's certain authors that whatever they come out with, I will devour and read right away, and this is one of those. So I can't. I just whew. Right, next we have Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. So I also rated this one 5 stars. I thought it was really good, mostly because there was a huge twist in it that I did not see coming, and it was also very like creepy. So it's about this couple who they take this like vacation weekend to Scotland, and it's basically supposed to like help, I guess, rejuvenate their marriage because they've been having marriage trouble, and they've been married for 10 years. And you also get to have these like reading these like letters that the wife left for the husband over the 10 years. So it's a very interesting read. But yeah, the twist in it, like Alice Feeney's writing, I think this might have been my first Alice Feeney book, and I was like taken aback. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. It's got similar writing to Riley Sager for me, but like just a different flair to it that is very Alice Feeney, like a Alice Feeney brand. I don't know how to explain, but really love this book. Next we have The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. So this blew up on TikTok and I loved it, to be honest. I rated it 4.5 stars. So this is about this woman who she works for this really rich couple, and it's kind of similar to Verity in the sense that she, like the woman in the relationship is a little bit cuckoo and she is very jealous, and the housemaid is kind of just trying to like, she has eyes on the husband and doesn't think that the wife is a good wife for him, but she, you know, she's just doing her job, and the wife ends up locking her in her bedroom, and she figures out that her room has a lock on the outside but not the inside. So it's all very sinister, obviously, and that's why you have her like looking through the keyhole. And it was such a good read, and I was scared that it wouldn't live up to the hype, but I think it totally did. And yeah, I loved it, and I'm gonna read the next one for sure. The Housemaid is Watching or something like that. Next we have another 4.5 star. This is Bunny by Mona Awad. So this is a book that not many people like, but to me, I understand the hype. So a lot of people were upset that they had to like Google things after to understand this book, but honestly I think it's so worth going through the experience and like experiencing this with the characters and the author and all of that. And then if you don't get what the whole concept was and you need to Google after, for me it was still so satisfying when it was revealed to me, and I really enjoyed it. So I would definitely recommend giving this a read. I couldn't even really like explain it to you. It's kind of about this like cliquey, like a clique in this high school, and it gives very like cult vibes. They call each other Bunny, and yeah, it's very hard to explain. You kind of just have to read it and trust it and go with it. And Mona Awad's writing is just so intriguing to me. So I've picked up some of her other books and they're on my TBR. I want to read them so bad. So yeah, I would still recommend trying this if you haven't yet, because it's definitely worth a read. Next we have His and Hers by Alice Feeney. So this one I ended up rating 4.25 stars. This was another very twisty, turny book. It was about this murder mystery that was taking place, and the investigator in it like thinks that it's the news reporter, and the news reporter thinks it's the investigator. And yeah, it was very interesting, and I loved the dual POV that was going on. I think you might have gotten a third POV in this of the actual murderer. Maybe not. I don't remember. No, that wasn't this book. But this one has his and her POVs, and it was very interesting to see both of their point of views, like as they're like kind of suspecting each other, and to see the reveal at the end was very cool as well. So yeah, I really like this. And basically the synopsis, like this little thing that says, there are two sides to every story, yours and mine, ours and theirs, his and hers, which means someone is always lying. So that's the vibe of this book. All right, the last set of books I have here, number 10, is the Natural series. So these I didn't rate super high. I think the highest rating I had for these were, yeah, they were between 4 stars to 4.5 stars. Really good series. Overall, I think the series is like a 4.5 star series. It was very intriguing. Jennifer Lynn Barnes' writing, again, is just so fast-paced and interesting, and like keeps you intrigued for so freaking long. And I love her writing, and I love this entire series. I think I ended up lowering the rating for the first book because it was just like a very quick intro first book, and the last book some crazy stuff happened that just didn't feel very realistic. But as a whole, the writing and like it just kept me so intrigued. And it's described as like a YA Criminal Minds, and basically this group of kids are like all from different backgrounds and different like familial situations, and basically orphans for all intents and purposes. And they are in this program because they're all super smart and have like a gift of some sort. They're in this program with the FBI where they get to work on cold cases and kind of indirectly help the FBI, which is super cool. And yeah, I ended up reading it while watching some Criminal Minds shows, and it was so much fun. So I would definitely recommend trying this series if you haven't already. If you love the inheritance games and are looking for like another quick fix of that, this is super fun. All right guys, that is all of the mystery books that I'm going to talk to you about today. It's super fun for me to read mystery books. They're super quick, they keep you intrigued, they keep you on your toes. They're literally binge books. Like every single, at least good one, is a bingeable book. And I feel like if you're reading a mystery thriller and you're not like super intrigued or wanting to binge it, it's probably not a good one. Like I feel like the entire point of a mystery or a thriller is to keep you like intrigued and on your toes and like wanting to know what's happening next or solving the mystery. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents, I guess, on mystery thrillers. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and these recommendations. Comment down below any like mystery thrillers that you think I would like based off of these like being my top 10. I feel like all I've read is big like BookTok mystery thrillers, and I feel like that's also because that's kind of what is like shown to me all the time on social media. So I end up wanting to read those more than like low, I don't even know what to call them, like low hype mystery books. So yeah, I'm definitely looking for more recommendations, so definitely comment that down below. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one.